Hey everybody, so if you're familiar with the story of this piece, it was one of the pieces from the successful glaze endeavor I finally found in my studio. As you know, as some people may know who have been with me on this journey, my first studio experience went a little sour. Not because anything was wrong, the young lady just closed up the studio and moved back to Paris. So it took a good while for me to find a studio that would rent out their kiln that was going to be reliable. So I found an amazing woman who owns a studio called Joe Picasso's, and she's just been really, really great. The chick is super cool. So had my second experience with her for kiln firing of my pieces, and we started off with 9 pieces. Everything came out of the kiln successfully, which was amazing. So then the next step was for me to have my first experience with glazing, a glaze fire. So most of you guys will know what that means. For those of you who don't, that's when you finish a sculpture and then you apply a color to it that's called glaze, whichever color you select, however you choose to apply it. It's like paint, but once it goes into the heat of the kiln, it vitrifies, so meaning it chemically bonds with your sculpture and makes it strong so that you can't just thump something and break it. Like when this was in the bisque state, if I had tapped this earring like this, it likely would have fallen off. So now, because the glaze is vitrified with the clay, it's a very solid piece and I can work with it. The problem was that they were always telling me, well, glaze is so unpredictable. You don't know how the colors are going to react to the heat. You don't know what's going to come out of the fire. And sometimes the resulting color may be something that, you're not cool with. And I was like, oh my God, well, I don't want to live with something after I've had an image in my mind about what the color for a piece is going to look like, only to have it come out and it be hideous, So I did my research and found a product called Dixie Belle Slick Stick, and it adheres to glossy surfaces because I did all of those pieces with glazes that were high gloss, and then the studio also adds an additional clear coat of glaze, which makes it even glossier. So anyway, this girl was a very beautiful brown, actually the brown that you see in this earring, and her face was maybe a little bit lighter, but there was all of that high gloss to her and I could not deal with it. So I painted her over with Dixie Belle Slick Stick, and then I applied black acrylic paint, the same acrylic paint that I'm applying right now. And then I went in with old gold. Let me move this over, maybe you can see it. That's the old gold right there. So then I went in with old gold and added some highlights. I am loving this particular stage of finishing my sculpture because, like when you're sculpting with clay, you get to change your mind a lot without any severe consequences. So I had started adding some old gold highlights in the area of her cheekbones, tip of her nose, her mouth, a little over her eyes, and her forehead, and a little area over her chin. And because I do not have a good relationship with shadow and light, meaning I won't do what it takes to study and really learn about light and how it's reflected and how it falls off of a face or highlights areas depending on the direction of the light, I usually end up falling out of love with when I add highlights on my own with no reference because they look wrong. I don't know if y'all remember The Office when Dwight asked Pam, what are their 2 sons, when she made that painting of The Office literally, and I guess she had her light coming from 2 different directions. I was so pissed off with Dwight because I was like, that's me, and I thought the painting looked fantabulous. But every once in a while, I'll look at something of mine that I did not use a reference for regarding light and shadow. I just tried to fake the funk, and it looks exactly like I faked the funk. So I decided that I did not want to do that with her. I wanted to do something different. So while I was talking, what you watched me do was basically just paint away those highlights so that I can start over with a new fresh canvas, which is her beautiful, beautiful blackity black face. And what I'm going to do is come in with the old gold and create some points of interest. I love very organic, earthen looks. I love to see sculptures that look distressed, like they were old statues. And I just decided that I think what I wanted to do was just randomly paint in some streaks and some areas with no real rhyme or reason, so that the goal is not, oh, this is where the light would fall on the tip of her nose if the sun was coming from the right. Just some, again, points of interest that are random. So that's what you're watching me do going in here now. I'm just really playing around. And like I said, that's because I know I have the luxury of going back in and doing something totally different if I don't like the way this is coming out. And I figured that doing it like this would end up giving it sort of, I don't want to say tear stained. Lots of times when I'm doing these videos, I can't think of the words for stuff. Not tear stained, but just distressed. If you've ever seen old statues, especially the ones that are left in like their natural state, that are white or either gray with a touch of blue, when they stand over time, areas will get dark or areas will get stained, and it just creates all these different streaks. And I don't know. I'm rambling because I don't know how to describe the beauty of what I like. So therefore, I just have to hope that I can mimic it successfully enough with what I'm doing to get the outcome that I look. But maybe you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. But we'll just see, again, how this turns out. It doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason. It's your work. You get to do what you want to do, and that's always a beautiful thing. So I'm going to hush and just sort of see what's going on with this and what I want to do. I feel like I'm liking this effect. Did I just say I was going to hush and then continue to keep talking? Oh, well, don't listen to me. I feel like I'm liking this effect. I want it very random, very whatever. And if I don't like it, when it's all said and done, whatever you want from me, what you need from me, boy, I give you all, every part of me. Only Voices and Vibes will know what just happened then. My V&V people, my Lamar Jones fans, they will know exactly what went down. And I know that in that moment, with my horrible voice, I brought back some amazing memories for some people. But anyway, like I was saying, when it's all said and done, I know that I'm not married to it. I can go back in, repaint the whole thing black, and start all over with something different. So I really love that. I really love that I don't have to commit, and I can do a lot of trial and error. And it takes a lot of, it's removed the intimidation factor for me. When I first started with sculpture, I was terrified of the clay. It looked so final, so permanent. It just looked like if you mess this up, you're done. Like you don't get to fix it. It's not going to be good. And once I got over that and realized that no, you can make a lot of mistakes, and then you can refortify the clay with water and make it soft so that you can rework certain areas, and you're not married to anything. What? That was just like, yes, okay, now I'm free to be myself and to see what works and find out what happens when you do this or when you do that. And I guess I'm just scary creatively. A lot of times I won't jump into things because I've started worrying about the limitations and the failures before I've started experimenting and discovering the possibilities. So the same thing with this. I got past being afraid of the clay and then became immediately afraid of the finishing process because I thought I was going to be married to colors that I didn't like, because whatever happens in the kiln stays. That's what I thought. Now I know, nope, you can paint over glaze, and then you can fall in love with the process of painting all over again by experimenting with your sculpture just like it's a blank canvas. So that is what I'm doing. That is what you are witnessing right now. And it's really dope. It's really, really dope. I think I'm feeling this, but I think that I want even more points of interest. I'm not sure. I'm gonna figure it out and we'll see. I don't know the words. All right, we're done for now. So I'm going to turn this around so you can get a look at it. And definitely let me know your thoughts if you're feeling it or not, because at this juncture, I'm undecided. Like I said, I'm just experimenting, playing around, seeing if things resonate with me, and if they don't, I have the luxury of painting over it and going a different route. So I have not decided on this yet, so it won't hurt my feelings if you say that you're not feeling it. Now, Erykah Badu just thinks she's sensitive about her shit, so I'm normally not at all open to letting people give me their opinions on what they think about something I've created, because I'm usually very set and final about it, and I know what I wanted to do, and I know if I've achieved that goal. But like I said, here, we're just playing around, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. So your feedback is welcome this go round. This go round. So let me hear from you. All right? Peace. So what's crazy is once I started taking these photos, I immediately decided that I didn't like it. So I wet a sponge, and then I went in and just scrubbed most of this away, so you won't get to see this again, because I decided that it did not work for me. I don't know why it didn't. I think it was too stark. The contrast of the old gold against the black and the white made everything too stark, and I wanted it much more muted. So I'm going to go in and repaint it all black again. And while it's wet, I'm going to go in with a larger brush and just create some white and old gold streaks. And I think I might get the desired effect.